to Stuart Skinner, a guy who, I mean, the team made a bet on him, making him the backup goalie this year. Some would argue they should have made that bet 6 months earlier than they did, 8 months earlier than they did. Got that shutout against the Sharks a couple years ago. Never saw the NHL again that season. And my argument will still be, and I said it at the time, you should have kept Stuart Skinner up and thrown Mikko Koskinen in on waivers. You should have tried to figure out what you have in Stuart Skinner. Because if you would have, you may have saved yourself a Jack Campbell contract. If you had an inkling that Stuart Skinner at the end of the 21-22 season was capable of being a 1A or 1B, you might have handled last summer differently. They didn't do that. They bring Stuart Skinner in as the backup, and what does he do? 6 weeks into the season, it was like, shit, this is Stuart Skinner's crease. So for that reason right there, the fact that this guy is a rookie, was a rookie, nominated for the Calder, or a finalist for the Calder, made the All-Star team, started the bulk of the games and gave them some damn good stretches during the season, and was largely consistent through the regular season as well. He gets an A grade for me in the regular season, Liam. There was one stretch that was slightly subpar, I think you could say, and it was right around the time where his wife welcomed their first child. Can totally excuse a guy's play for slipping at a moment like that. And then he got it right back on the rails and was lights out in the last 10 games of the regular season. A big reason why they got home ice in round one, and a big reason why they were able to beat the Kings. He gets an A for the regular season. I don't think you can argue that, right?
My only argument would be I would give him an A plus, but I mean,
Okay.
whatever, right? I just think the expectations coming into the season were so unknown with him, and then he comes in and now he's a Calder finalist, gets on the All-Star team. Basically, the reason I think outside of the big two, like he was the Oilers MVP this season. Without him, I truly don't know where this team would have been.
Yeah, he saved their season early on when Jack Campbell was really, really struggling. The playoff grade, here's what the chat's saying. Sergeant Battle says B plus. Chell Iverson actually 100% agree. Lance says he should win the Calder. The playoffs, I'm giving him a C plus just because he was really not good. Like, there were a lot of pucks in that run that he should have stopped. He got yanked 4 times over the course of the playoffs, 3 times over the course of the playoffs. It was not good, but that's not entirely his fault either, is kind of what I wanted to say here too. Like, when did he ever have to start 12 consecutive games? It was a mistake to keep rolling him out there. Game 6 against Vegas should have been Jack Campbell. You could make an argument that it almost could have been Jack Campbell earlier in that series as well. The first time he got yanked, I just think he got overplayed. And I think it's a lesson they need to learn heading into next season is, hey, come playoff time, maybe you need to have a bit of a quicker trigger finger to go to your backup. And it's not even like you go to Jack Campbell and you can never go back to Stuart Skinner for the playoff run. You could have flip-flopped. There's nothing saying you can. I know Minnesota got bounced, but like Minnesota did do that. They were ready to go back and forth between the two for a bit. So I think they just overplayed him. It's a shame. He had to play a lot of hockey this year. I am honestly not blaming the guy at all for getting a little bit burnt out towards the end. But goaltending was a big reason why they got eliminated, and you need to grade him accordingly. So that's why I went C plus.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. C plus. I don't think getting pulled 4 times is ever a good thing. But like you said, like everything involved in it, like 50%, what is it? 33% on Skinner, 33% on the defense, 33% on the coaching staff. So joint effort in what kind of ruined a great season for Stuart Skinner in a variety of ways. So yeah, I give him an A plus on the season and a C plus in the playoffs, and I agree 100% of sticking around for next season and many, many more moons to come.
I know people love to be like, oh, would you trade him for Carter Hart? Come on. Stuart Skinner signed to a beautiful contract for the next 3 years, man. If this guy, and I fully expect this to be the case, he'll be your number one for the next 3 years. And there could be a point, year 3 of that deal, man. The cap could be 90 some million, and he's making 2.2 million bucks. That's unbelievable value. Like, the Jack Campbell contract is not great, but when you're only spending 7.2 on your 2 goalies, if you can get a bounce back from Campbell next season, I saw someone ask that question. I think he will bounce back to some extent next year. Spending 7.2 million on a good 1A 1B combo is a really nice spot to be in.